Today we're going to be exploring the Neolithic site of Windmill Hill, the first monument around the complex of the largest stone circle in the world, Avebury Stonehenge. Avebury is world famous for its large stone circle with its two inner circles and two avenues leading out, joining up to further monuments around the valley. This 18th century sketch by William Stukeley shows the site in almost entirety. Walking amongst the remains of Windmill Hill, a badly degraded site. All that's left are some deep pits, a few mounds, and a few remnants of the previous causeways and ditches. Now, as these ditches were on the outside of the ridge, of the mound, you know that these were defensive structures. Now, when we get down into Avebury, later on, we shall see that where the ditch was on the inside of the mound, it was a henge, and this was used for religious purposes, not like Windmill Hill, the first site occupied for ritual ceremony believed to be in this area. We're here today at Windmill Hill to really understand the story of the Neolithic people that lived in, occupied and built Avebury Stonehenge. The story really starts just over there at Hackpin Hill, shown just earlier with the two clumps of trees. Early Mesolithic site, they occupied this camp seasonally, creating axe heads and flint tools. Proceeding on in 3800 BCE, they moved to Windmill Hill, the camp that we're stood at now. A defensive structure of 3 stone ditches, this was a place for seasonal occupation where tribes could come together and spread knowledge, best practice, and engage in ceremony and ritual. As we can see from this hill here, at around 3800 BC, the Star Watchers and people who lived in the Neolithic Avebury would have had a much better understanding of the stars than we do today. If you look directly in the forefront, you can see Silbury Hill. And also West Kennet Longbarrow. So the stars of the Southern Cross would have risen over West Kennet Longbarrow at around 3800 BC, and 200 years later, having witnessed a crux, Alpha and Beta Centauri, rising up over that spot, they would then 200 years later proceed to build West Kennet Longbarrow, marking their ancestral stars of the Southern Hemisphere. Now, it's important to understand that at this time, Avebury was in a unique position on this latitude. Not only could you see the North Pole with the zodiacal stars spinning clockwise around, you could also see the entire edge of the Milky Way on the horizon as 360 degrees around, with the stars, the Northern Cross, sinking below the horizon and rising again each night, and the Southern stars sinking below the horizon and then rising again, and rising above the horizon and then sinking south between the hours of maybe 11 and 2:30. So standing on this hill 3,600 years ago, these people would have looked out, seen the hill. Silbury Hill wouldn't have been here, and they would have gone and they would have built that barrow, that tomb, that temple to honour their relationship with their ancestral stars. We're now going to proceed to go over to West Kennet Longbarrow and have a look around. It's one of the best preserved long barrows in the country, and it's a beautiful sight to see.